Welcome to r/Entitledparents, where an entitled father tries to steal someone's dog. Our next Reddit post is from Mrs. Nikki. I'm at my local grocery store getting things for breakfast and dinner. I walk over to the deli department for some sliced cheese. As I'm grabbing my cheese, I see it. An entitled mom is putting a package of cheese back. Now, this wouldn't be a big deal if she hadn't taken slices out to feed her offspring. Seriously, this woman, who was not wearing gloves, helped herself to pre-sliced, pre-weighed cheese, sealed the package back up, and left it for some unsuspecting person. This would be infuriating even in a non-COVID period, but given what is happening now and how contagious this thing is, she's a piece of garbage. Yes, I promptly let the deli employees know, and they pulled every package of cheese that wasn't sealed with a sticker over the zipper, because there was no way to pinpoint which one this vile woman touched. And down in the comments, we have this story from Alice Reads This. Years ago by the deli counter, I looked over just in time to see a woman take a nice big mouthful of the self-serve soup, directly from the ladle which she put back into the kettle. Some people are just gross no matter what's going on. Also, I never bought self-serve soup after that for obvious reasons. Our next Reddit post is from British Bloke. Currently, my wife is transitioning from social worker to dog trainer in the hopes of training assistance animals for people in need. As someone who suffers from anxiety herself, she knows how good a trained assistance dog can be in stressful situations. My dear wife had just finished work and had decided to take our dog to the local off-leash beach for an impromptu training session and playtime. On arrival, she moves to a relatively quiet section of the beach and starts running the dog through some drop stays and recalls, and other things that are good to reinforce in a high distraction environment with lots of other leash dogs and people around. After maybe 10 minutes, she releases the pup to have a run and play with the other dogs and sits down on the beach to watch him play, occasionally recalling him to reinforce the behavior before letting him explore and play again. As she's sitting there watching, she's approached by a father who's with a couple of kids, which isn't odd for this particular off-leash area as it isn't too far from the main beach. The conversation goes as follows. "That's an amazingly well-trained dog you have there." My wife says, "Thanks, I'm actually a dog trainer, but it helps that he loves to learn." "I'm not usually a fan of smaller dogs, but this one seems pretty smart." "Yeah, well, it's taken a while to get him there, but he's doing great." They both watch him play for a minute or so and make some more small talk, with my wife still recalling him every so often. "How is he with kids?" "Oh, he loves them. He loves any attention, but he really loves playing with children." The entitled dad nods, watching his kids play with the dog. "How much do you want for him?" My wife laughs, thinking he's joking. She says, "Some days I'd rehome him for free, but seriously, I couldn't live without him." The entitled dad laughs. "No, but seriously, how much? I've never seen a small dog that I like as much as him." My wife laughs again, nervously this time. She says, "Honestly, I could never part with him." "You're a dog trainer though. You could always train yourself another dog. Or you could get a dog and bring him along to our training centers and we could help you train him." "But I really like your dog. And I don't generally like small dogs, and he's already trained, so come on. Don't be unreasonable. How much for him? I can get you cash within the hour." My wife gets up as she's feeling uncomfortable and says, "He's not for sale. Please stop asking." "Come on, please. Look at how much my kids like him." He gestures to the kids, who are playing with a whole pack of assorted dogs, including ours. "I'll pay you. I'll give you more than he's worth." "For the last time, no. I'm not selling you my dog. Now please leave me alone." My wife starts to move towards the car park and calls the dog to put him on his leash so she can leave. As the dog runs up the beach, the entitled dad tries to grab him by the collar, misses spectacularly, and gets a face full of sand. My wife gets him back on his leash and gets to the car park before having a small panic attack standing at the back of her car. A couple of the regulars see her and calm her down, and she tells them the story, but by then, the entitled dad and his kids have left. We go back a few days later, and there's a printed notice on the beach entrance asking people to be vigilant as a man was sighted trying to take people's dogs. Our next Reddit post is from Commotionable, and for context on this story, OP is a lesbian. In previous stories, I've mentioned how my cousin has 7 kids and I usually do what I can to spend time with them. Well, last weekend, I decided not to do deliveries and instead pick the kids up so they can meet and spend time with my girlfriend. She was down for it as she's always wanted to meet them. So after indulging ourselves in one another for pretty much a week straight, we were pretty satisfied and ready to interact with other people. I told my roommate the details and she said she was okay with it as long as her room remains untouched as she was going out of town to visit some family. I understood and gave the scouts honor. The day of, I call my cousin and let her know that I want to kidnap her kids. She agrees as she loves them, but any free time she can have is a treat. I go to my mom and harass her to borrow a truck. So my girlfriend and I go to pick up the 7 hooligans, and immediately they start asking questions and my cousin helps explain. Now, the kids aren't stupid, they're fully woke, but I guess to them it's interesting to see gay people up close and personal. We load them into the car and make our way to a mom and pop shop. My girlfriend and I are standing in line, which is long, and with this 6 foot of separation thing, the line is even longer. So we're pretty much chilling in the drink aisle on the taped X on the ground. So I'm holding the cart, and my girlfriend is behind me with her arms wrapped around me. And the kids are surrounding the cart like they're top flight security guards. As we wait, this kid comes up to us. "Excuse me, are you in line?" "Yes, we are." He nods and goes behind us to the next X mark of tape on the ground. Not even 4 or 5 minutes later, we hear from across the store a lady yell a name and the kid behind us yells back to answer. From the end of the aisle, a lady rounds the corner with her mile-high cart full of groceries. I move to the side so she can pass us, but she stops right in front of us. "I'm over here, Mom. I'm waiting like you told me to." The entitled mother looks me dead in the face. "Come up here, kid." "Excuse me, ma'am. We're in line. You'll need to get behind us." "No, it's fine. I'm just gonna go in front." The oldest kid is now aware of what's going on and is looking up from his phone. "Excuse me, you can't cut the line." "Mom, just come back here." "You need to control your child." "You need to get in the back of the line." The entitled mother looks me up and down trying to find some ammo, and then she spots my girlfriend's arms wrapped around me. She scoffs. "You two need to stop that. There are children around and they'll copy what you do. If they see you being gay, that will make them gay as well. You should stop forcing your gayness on others around you." "Excuse me?" My girlfriend isn't really confrontational, so she goes to take her arms from around me, but I use my arms to hold her in place. My sexuality has nothing to do with who these kids are. They don't care about stuff like this because they're kids. Now get to the back of the line. The entitled mother realizes that she isn't getting anywhere and that all eyes are on her, so she shuffles her ignorant and intolerant butt to the back of the line. Now, my girlfriend and I reserve most of our love to the bedroom, so we aren't really heavy on public displays of affection. But knowing how much it made entitled mother either uncomfortable or pissed off was enough to fill my petty meter. My girlfriend was mostly shy, but I was bold and had no F's left to give. Every time that entitled mother shot daggers in my back, I made it a point to tell my girlfriend how much I love her. I kissed her hand or even gave her a gentle back massage. The kids were giggling, as they were well aware of what was going on. The entitled mom's kid was unfazed. The whole time, entitled mother was talking under her breath, saying things like, "They're all going to hell," or "That's so nasty, women aren't meant to be together like that," or my favorite, "They're probably using food stamps to pay for all that. They should get those kids back to their fathers." Now, the last one I feel had more to do with my race, as my cousins are all mixed. I'm Hispanic and my girlfriend is black, but it's whatever. The kids weren't paying attention, and neither was my girlfriend, as she was too busy thinking about my hand on her butt. I waited until we got closer to the register before tricking my girlfriend to lean down so that I could pull her into a kiss. I heard entitled mother gag at this. My petty meter reached levels of petty some could only dream of. We bought our stuff, and I made it a point to flash my credit card while I paid. Then off to the car we went. After loading the kids and stuff into the car, I couldn't help but notice that the car next to us beeped. I looked up to see entitled mother making her way to her car. I figured one last show for my adoring audience couldn't hurt. I pulled my girlfriend down into a deep, passionate kiss. We literally made out until entitled mother got into her car and drove off. The whole time, she was gagging and dry heaving. My girlfriend said, "You really are a butthole, you know that?" I said, "But you love me for it." Now, I may have gone too far with the last kiss, but we trigger people in public by just holding hands. Screw homophobes. Our next Reddit post is from Catwoman Lover. This happened when I was 15. A boy in my neighborhood would often catcall me and try to grab me. He was around my age. I told him to leave me alone. I'd complained to his parents, but to no avail. When I told my parents about it, they told me to just ignore him. One day, when I was walking home from school, he caught up with me. As usual, he made some filthy comments about my body, things he would do to me, etc. I walked faster in an attempt to lose him. I just wanted to get home. But he grabbed my arm and lifted up my skirt, exposing my underwear. I effing lost it. I began punching and kicking him with all of my strength and with all the rage that had been building up inside of me. I didn't stop until someone pulled me off of him. It was his mother. She screamed at me for hurting her little boy and told me she would be speaking to my parents. I said fine and walked home. I knew it would get ugly that evening, but his blood on my knuckles made me feel a little better. That evening when my parents got home, Karen was already waiting beside our front door. Apparently, she had been messaging my parents all day, telling them about the beating. She berated them again in person. The boys will be boys defense was used. Here's the fun part. My parents actually apologized to her and promised her they would discipline me. When she left, I told them my side of the story, but my dad just repeated what he said earlier, that I should have ignored him. And the icing on the cake, he told me that if I didn't want to draw the attention of boys, I should lengthen my skirts. Never mind the fact that I had pretty much been assaulted. My mom told me to grow up and be more ladylike instead of getting into fights with boys. My two brothers who are younger than me were much more sympathetic. My 13-year-old brother said he'd get his friends to gang up on him if he ever came near me. Thankfully, it never came to that. That coward never harassed me again. I guess being beaten up by a girl can really kill a misogynist's confidence. OP, I'm really glad that you defended yourself, and I 100% disagree with your parents' reaction to this. If I had a daughter who fought off an attacker, there's no way I would punish her. That was r/Entitledparents, and if you like this content, then check out my Patreon where I publish extra videos. Also, hit that subscribe button because I put out new Reddit videos every single day.